Hello, my name is Gary, of course, and today I'd like to talk about familiar spirits. And you can make your own, or you can buy them, whichever you prefer. When I first started, a few years ago, I bought this book right here, Familiar Spirits, A Practical Guide for Witches and Magicians, by Donald Tyson. It's a good book. I like it. In the book, it has very good instructions. But what I did, I took the highlights of what I thought was good, what I thought was not good, and put them together. And that's what I used when I made my own spirits. When I say make your own spirits, and they can be what you would call familiars too. That may be a more appropriate term, familiars. And the book goes into detail of what one should do to cast for familiar. I spend about, I would say about $20, $30 for each familiar that I do. It takes me about a week from start to finish. One, because I'm working between 50 and 70 hours a week in a regular job. And then I work this in when I have a chance, plus my other duties around the house and things of that nature. So it takes about a week to do that. And I enjoy doing it. And I have made several over the years. And for various reasons, I would go ahead and remove them, send them back into the ether, or whatever you want to call it, and then make a different one. But also, you can go online, many different places, who will do that for you. And of course, they will charge you a fee, some a lot more than others. One place that I have used in the past, and I'm currently using now, is a site called Creepy Hollows. They seem to do a very good job. I like it. Is it for everybody? No. Do people believe in all that? No. And that's up to you. Whether you believe in it or not, power to you. But I enjoy it. And to me, that makes all the difference in the world. I enjoy it. No harm, no foul to anybody else. But I enjoy it, and I move forward with it. It gives me something to do when I'm not working, which ain't very often. But I also enjoy working with the paranormal, such as the Grand Duchess Bune, Prince Seer, and Hecate. And that does help. But if you enjoy something like that, then you can do it. Anybody can do it. All it takes is time, and it takes intention. You have to have the right intention. And of course, if you go into it with, you're going to create something that's going to do a lot of harm or something along that nature, you may not like what comes through or how it comes through, and it may be hard to control on your end. But there again, each to their own. What I like to do is, when I make my own familiars, I have tasks for them. It may be bringing me information or help me find information about certain categories or certain people or events or places. And you'd be surprised, or I've been surprised, how I might find something on the internet all of a sudden, or go to a website and I try to figure out, well, how in the world did I get here? Can't really understand it, but end up where I need to be, get the information I'm looking for, and go forward. And I've gotten into metal detecting over the years, which I thoroughly enjoy. Good exercise. And I decided, well, maybe I can get these familiars and or spirits to help me find information about lost items, buried items. But I may find something worthwhile. Haven't yet, but I'm just now beginning to get into it hot and heavy, spending more time in it, getting more, turning the intent better into it. So that's what I enjoy doing. Now it can get expensive, but there again, do what you can afford and what you can control and what's good for you. Using this book here, of course, the cost of the book, and then the supplies, what you need to buy and to go through it, and the time involved. I'm not a big fan of candles. I see their purpose, and I have done candle magic in the past. I'm just not a big fan of it. That's just me. So when it says use a candle, black candle, white candle, whatever, I choose not to. And then I explain to the spirits, hey, I don't prefer a candle, and that's why I'm not using it. Please don't take no offense to it. And that's how I approach that. But each to their own. When they do it, someone say, oh, you got to use a candle, or you got to use this. But, to me, working with the spirit world, or magic, whatever you want to call it, paranormal, it's an individual experience. It's what you go with, what resonates with you. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. And that's what you have to approach it by. There's so much information out there, good, bad, or indifferent. Some of it's just crap. On the internet, people can make up and say whatever the heck they want to. It doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's false. So you got to weed through all that and take a little bit here and a little bit there and use what you think is right for you. Use your intuition. And as you get into it, in the spirit world, the paranormal world, begins to be more part of who you are and what you do, then you'll find, if you listen, which is hard for me sometimes, is to listen, it ends up working out better for you. And that's the best part of it, is listening and enjoying it. I thoroughly enjoy it. Absolutely. Here, and this is my office that I use. I have all sorts of stuff in here. I got 3 shelves of statues, crystals, from different places, different people. And I just enjoy it. And it's been over years to acquire some of this stuff. So you can get a lot of money into it, like any other. If you want to consider it a hobby, you're going to throw some money into it. And over the years, you get more and more monies into it. That's not good nor bad, but just do what you can afford. And I've been doing this, 40 plus years. When I first started getting into it, didn't have a lot of money. My wife and I worked all the time. We had a child, other priorities. But now, later on in life, I got a little more money, not a whole lot, but a little more money, and I can afford to do some of these other things. Don't have the time yet, but I can do some of that. And the hobbies, whether it be golfing, hunting, fishing, reading, computers, they all cost monies. So what kind of return do you get on your investment is what it is. Is it a return on happiness, enjoying what you do, It's up to you. I mean, I just have a good time with it. I spook myself sometimes. Absolutely, I spook myself. Last night, I had a good conversation with several of my spirits that I have wanting around me. I have protection spirits, both light and dark. And I have spirits that do different functions. And the one spirit I have that, or familiar that I have, that I went through the process with my book. I've had this particular one, I want to say 3 years now. 3 years that we've been working together, having a good time, and I hope that particular familiar is having a good time too. And of course, most of them have names. Some don't like names. They don't need a name, don't desire a name. But just, well, they do, they don't. And I just don't tell people the names of the spirits. It's just me. And then we go from there. But I do enjoy it. I recommend it if you get into it, do some research. That helps. And you can spook yourself. Don't think you can't. You really can. And don't do stupid stuff. I mean, think like an adult, a human. You're expanding your way of thinking, of course. And the spirits are all around us. All around us. I'd say probably 10, 15 years ago, when I had more time then, was working with the spirit world. A lot of angels and more positive spirits and things like that. Oh, it was great. Had a good time. But, and they spooked me a few times, absolutely. Probably saved me a few times too. Yeah, we don't get into those stories, but yeah, they're out there. And everybody's had those events, those moments in life when things just seem to happen or change for you. And some have a paranormal experience and they don't want nothing else to do with it. Can't blame them. Don't want to blame them. That's just them. And you can't force it on somebody. If you think you're going to get into it and force it on somebody else, it's not going to happen. It'll probably be a bad result for you and for them. You go down some paths you maybe don't want to go down. But there again, some people strive for that, the real dark paths and things of that nature. If that's you, then so be it. But also remember, there's a day of reckoning sooner or later, some sooner than others. But anyway, just wanted to do this video today about doing familiar spirits. Use this book, and there's other books out there. And I've been through a bunch of them. And this is what I settled on for me. And I've got them pages marked, different sections in here that I use for clearing, for conjuring, and things of that nature. So enjoy it, have a good time. If you go to these other websites, check them out. If they don't feel right for you, then find something else. But still, and find somebody you trust to work with if you choose to go down that path. Some like to work with other people. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's a good idea to have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. And that works out pretty good sometimes. But each to their own. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. And we'll see you next time.